home. We are WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. I always feel at home when I'm at Coco's Pub. There are parrots all over the walls. There's margaritas here. Marcella's here. There's crab cakes here. You know, I wore shorts today because it's hot out. And I thought, like, am I going to get cold as hell? And I thought, well, the door's right here, so the hot air will come in, but it's double-doored. Then I thought, well, I'm right next to all of this refrigeration where the crab cakes are, but the heat from the refrigerator will keep me warm. I don't know. I've been cold since I got here. Summertime, I should just wear long pants in summer. I mean, unless it gets to be 112, I'm just cold in air conditioning. It's all brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. These are not cold. These are Gold Rush Doubler 7s. I'm hoping they're blazing hot. We're going to be giving these away all over the bar today. On Friday, we're going to be at Cooper's Tavern in Fells Point, courtesy of our friends at the Maryland Lottery in conjunction with Jiffy Lube Multi-Care and Liberty Pure Solutions. They keep my water safe and clear if you got a well. If you need clean water, they do it better than anybody does it. And this guy does art better than anybody does it. Mike Ricigliano, our co-host with a K. His wife, Terry, has just walked in. His niece, Michelle, is going to come on later, talk about lemurs and monkeys and stuff like that. And then we have golf, the refined sport. The U.S. Open is this week in Pinehurst. We're near Mount Pleasant, where they also had some historic things happen here. Tom Pierce is here. He runs Classic 5 golf. I wouldn't have had you on this week because I already had Ed. Ed and I went back and forth about Scheffler and his Butler Cabin appearances and his Pinehurst number 12 card and whatever else he got going on.
Number 2.
Number 2. You know what I mean? But then I realized I'm coming here, and I hit him, and I'm like, I get Tom. And I'm like, well, I get Tom on any time. We'll come, maybe have him up Pappas in Parkville. Then I thought, the Phillies are coming to town this week. I got to get you out. How are you, man? You hitting them straight? You don't play any golf, do you?
I played once this season. I'm playing Father's Day.
All these golf pros, you think golf, and they're like me with sports. So everybody thinks, oh, you're a sports guy. Nah, I used to be. I just watch the Orioles and the Ravens because it's just too much.
Well, when you're running the business, you can't just be out there playing.
I guess. I mean, I'm shocked that you only played once this year.
I mean, every pro I talk to, that's what they get. They play winter because
I'm not a pro.
Play, right?
I'm not a pro.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
No, I played golf all my life, but it's a matter of, when you're working all day at the courses, I'm around at each of the courses in the office. It's not something that, golf, I'd have to take the time away. And I hate to say it, when it's the weekends, you're
going to take time this weekend, right?
I'm playing Sunday, playing up the Mount.
Whoa. The Philadelphia Phillies are here in Baltimore, Maryland.
I know it's Father's Day, though. It's
Father's
Day.
Yeah. I went through this with Ed earlier this week.
Father's Day.
Father's Day. Well, let's speak to that because we'll do some baseball with Ricig here and all that. Because have you ever golfed, Ricig? I don't know you'd ever golf.
I would golf once a year with my fellow cartoonists. It was called the Freelancers Classic, and it would take place usually in Cleveland. So these were greeting card cartoonists that we worked with, and I was very bad. I once wounded a squirrel playing. I hit it. The squirrel came down, scurried down and limped away. And, I was crushed that I had done this. But my fellow cartoonists, of course, just did endless cartoons about little squirrels with crutches on and just kept sending to me and making me feel worse, So, no, I am a bad golfer. I have not golfed in a while.
Putt? Anything? No?
I mean, no.
Well, this golf thing this week, and it being Father's Day, and me trying to be civil to a Phillies fan, on the eve of this momentous occasion where we're both really good.
Yes.
Last time was like 83, I think.
Yes.
Really.
I was at game 2 when Storm Davis. You guys beat us at the Vet. I was at that game.
It was.
Or game 3.
Game 3.
I think it was game 3. It was at the Vet. I was at that game.
I was there for. That's the one I missed. I was at 1, 2, 4, and 5, so I only missed 3. So that was the Benny Ayala game, of course. So the Golf Fathers thing and U.S. Open, and maybe I'm just not in the – I've watched U.S. Opens every year. I don't necessarily equate it to Father's Day. My dad died 30 years ago and being a golf. It's a special holiday if you are – Dad's alive, Granddad's alive, and you golf.
Yes.
This is Father's Day is a golf holiday in golf families.
Oh, yes, it is. It totally is. Because it's a time you can spend with your son if your son plays golf. I'm playing with some brother-in-laws and some friends, and my nephew's playing with his dad.
You're not getting out in the morning and then going to catching 9 innings? Or no, just no.
Well, we didn't plan it out well.
All right.
That's the problem. We
You
didn't plan
run
it out
5 golf courses. You can't get on. What's
Stunning.
wrong?
No, I could have. But I'm not trying. I don't want to take it from other customers. That's one of the reasons why I don't play much, because the weekends are open, and if I don't plan it ahead, I don't want to take it from a customer.
So this week I've had more golf conversations than I've had in a long time. Mark Bryan from Hootie and the Blowfish. So when you think of Hootie and the Blowfish, they're a golfing band.
Yeah.
Sort of
Oh, yeah, I've heard
famously,
that.
right? Like they throw their party at Augusta every year for
Right.
30 years, right? So they're golfing guys. So I've known Mark over 30 years since Crack Review. This is their 30th anniversary of the tour. He calls me Monday, and they had 5 days off on the tour. And he's like, I'm home. I'll do anything you want Monday or Tuesday. I'm like, let's do it in an hour. We get together in an hour. I said, what are you doing? He's like, oh, man, I'm playing golf. I'm like, no. You have a new album. No, I'm playing golf. I'm like, you're on tour every night. You're playing like 5 shows a week. He's like, listen, this is what we do. We get on the bus, and we go to the next town. We get up 6 in the morning. I'm like, you're a rock star. He's like, no, we got to get on the links early in the morning. So we go out. We play 18. We come back. We go to sound check at 2:30. Then we catch a nap, and then we go play. And we get on the bus, and we go to the next city, and wherever we are, we get on at 7:30, 7:45, early in the morning, get tee time in. And I said, so you're going to more rounds of golf or more shows on this tour? He's like, oh, more rounds of golf.
Oh, no, that's
And
probably
I'm
a
like-
perfect life.
And I'm, well, it's for him. It is for Darius. It is for, I mean, you people are nuts. Let's say that. Classic 5 golf. You can go out. You people are nuts.
But it's a great.
I agree with you now. The golfing mentality, I've never understood it completely.
Well, it's you got to take it and have fun. There are people that take it too seriously.
I've
As we
met
always
them.
promote that.
I've met them. Yeah.
I've
Don't
always
be that
told
guy.
people it should be for fun. Enjoy the 4 hours with the 3 other people you're playing with. You're outside, hopefully having some beers, playing golf, joking, having a great time,
With
enjoying
people you
weather.
choose to
It's
be with.
Exactly.
that
And-
part of it I like.
And that's all what it should be about. I mean, we play because there'll be 8 of it. We're playing 2 foursomes. We might flip around at the 9th hole, so everybody plays together, doing something different. But it's a matter of we don't really care about scores. We're not playing against each other. It's about having fun.
I've done things in life where I've had one person in the boat trying to be too competitive about what we need to do or maximize the experience. Golf be one of those things. I'll never be good enough
Well, don't worry about it.
to have the day wreck me. I would only be there for the reasons you're talking about.
Sure.
At this
Right.
point, I'm not there to win a prize. I'm
No.
not there to brag. And if I get a hole in one or something, But I mean, I still brag about the only thing I have to brag about in my golf game, which was at the media event in 2006 in Jacksonville. Five in Jacksonville. They had the media party. This is the Hootie and the Blowfish story. They had the media party on Tuesday night in this giant gazebo on the TPC at Sawgrass, right? One of the
Oh, yeah.
top 10 famous courses in America,
Oh,
you'd say,
easily.
right? And the 17th hole has a famous water hole
Yes.
with a circle, right? So everybody in the media got to hit a shot on 17 to lose the ball in the water inevitably, right? Dude, I put it like 4 feet from the pin.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Like
pretty
I had
impressive.
one shot. Ray Bachman was there. Casey Willett was there. Drew Forrester was there. Like I had real golfers there, and I had the shot of the group. And so 19 years later, I still get to brag about it because I did. That was. That,
You-
when you hit a shot,
Shot
like
like that.
that,
Oh, yeah, you
you
should
talk
brag about
about
it.
it.
If you hit that 10 times, how many times would you
Oh
put
my
it on?
God! If I go down there right now, I'd be there half the day, and it would.
Right.
I'd lose however many balls you bring.
Right.
But
Very
man,
good.
I got it back, and I just did everything Norm Vikoski taught me when I just got it, just right, hit it right.
Right.
And
You were
I-
probably relaxed.
I
That's
don't-
the biggest thing.
I don't think
People-
I've hit a shot since that was that good.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is you watch people, and you can see them like at a driving range where people are really, they're tense, and it's like relax and just have a
Go
good
with the
tempo.
flow.
It's,
Get Happy
it's best-
Gilmore with
right.
it.
I mean, and don't try to be like the guys you're going to see this weekend on TV.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit.
Those guys are just
Well,
incredible players.
that's the inspiration. Ricig, have you been to a golf tournament?
I went to the ladies. Is it the ladies' Masters?
87 when it was here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Annika
went.
Sorensen
I went
won.
to that. Yes. I went to that.
Where
that
was that? Do you remember where?
I was still- It was
Townsend?
Baltimore Country Club, maybe?
Maybe.
So, but either way, we
It
had
was
a major.
fun. It
We
was
had
a lot of
major
fun
here.
to watch.
I mean, when Nancy Nancy Melton was on the tour back
Right.
then, and like it was our publisher. We worked at the Baltimore Sun together. Our publisher, what was his name? Roger. Oh my God, I lost his name. He was from Atlanta. He was a Georgian. What was his name?
The guy for
The
which paper?
publisher, Reg Murphy.
Reg Murphy.
Reg
yeah.
Murphy. That was I said Rod. Reg Murphy.
Reg Murphy. Oh my
He
God.
was a golfing nut, and he was the publisher of the Sun in the late 80s.
Right.
And the Sun was part of getting this LPGA huge event here. So that was the time I went to the BMW a couple years ago.
Right.
I did a ladies major the year before in New Jersey. I covered it for I kidded Jack Gibbons, you're sending me to cover golf? I don't know enough about golf. Go, you'll be fine. It got rained out, so I never had to write a story. And then the next year was here. He sent me because I had to go because we had to cover it because the event was here the next year. And he had to get somebody to drive in the car on New Jersey on a Sunday morning. He elected me,
Yes.
1987 or whatever it was. But getting out to a course and seeing what these guys do, I'm a duffer. I go to a couple tournaments a year. I see really, they're the people I know that hit the ball really well. And then you go out there to the BMW, you go out to Caves, and you just spend a couple of hours out there and see what these guys do in person. There's nothing like it, really.
Oh, well, and it's something that television doesn't give justice to how far they hit the ball.
Oh.
That an amateur, somebody that's, I'm in my mid-50s, I can still sometimes hit a drive 300 yards. But these guys are hitting it 350, 360, and they're hitting it straight. I mean, what they can do, and then they're hitting when you're 150 yards out, I'm hitting an 8-iron, they're hitting like a wedge. I mean, just what they can do from a distance with a higher lofted club so they have more control of it, can put spin on the ball.
Put the
It's
ball
just
right where they
phenomenal.
want it.
They can do whatever they want. So that's why
Surgical. Right.
So which is harder, hitting a fastball or hitting a golf ball?
I always say with
a
golf,
baseball. Hitting a fastball would be, I would think.
is harder.
It would be definitely
Okay.
harder.
All right.
I always say about golf, and this is me being nasty Nestor flippant in my 90s, back when my hair was long the first time, I would always say, the ball doesn't move. How hard can this be? You know, I played tennis all day, every day in my
God.
child. I played baseball, football, track and ball, moving balls, basketball where things are moving. The absolute, that really is the whole magic of golf, is the frustration, is that the ball doesn't move.
Right, and it's only you.
You in the air.
And so if you don't hit it right, it's you. You
It's
did
all
something
your
wrong.
fault,
It's all up in here. It's all in your
Ball's
head.
dimpled. The ball's messed up. This club
No,
right?
it's all
you give
all
me a
you.
bad club time.
That's right.
That's why it's all in your head. That's why it's like the golf's a game where you just want to relax. I mean, it's the only sport I've played so many competitive sports in my life. I've probably played it the longest and never played it competitively because I didn't want to.
For what you do at Classic 5 to promote your courses and talk about Mount Pleasant right down the street, which has a legendary history. Pine Ridge, I had Ed on this week talking about all the simulators and the Top Tracer and all that stuff. And everybody saw somebody hit the balls down at the stadium last week. But
Right.
nobody's coming out and winning the Masters at Carroll Park on a 9, right? Nobody's going to Forest Park. But you can go out there, Rich Forest Park or RJ at Forest Park, and learn the game. Introduce your children to the game, but more than that, affordably
play the game and enjoy it.
Available.
Yes.
You want to get on, you want to play Mount Pleasant this week, you haven't played golf in 5 years, you come over and get a lesson affordably, and get on affordably, and you can get back to the game if this weekend's the weekend you fall in love with it. Because that's what happens. I fall in love with tennis whenever I watch it. Whenever I watch it, I
amazing.
want to
I
get a
watch it.
racket and I want to play.
Incredible sport.
I don't want to play any pickleball. Let me make that clear, all right? But golf does make me want to play putt-putt when I go to the beach, it does.
The old clown,
The swinging
yes.
thing for golf with my back, you see I'm sitting on a – by the way, Ricig, I'm sitting on your my face.
I'm sitting on your own face.
I'm sitting on my face.
That's great.
This is the this is Ricig's work.
Oh, great.
So
I didn't know that.
back in the 90s,
Back in the day.
25th anniversary, I'm not proud of it, but I kind of am. The 25th anniversary, the first year we had WNST, I loved our logo so much. Nasty 1570 sports, all day, all night, all sports. We were the station with balls, right?
Yeah.
So we had, and this was a station where we had all the juggling balls here. You see the little juggling balls and me. But this is Ricig's work. This is how good looking I was and what a great artist he was back in the 90s. And so this is back when we had an ASCAP license back and we played music and stuff. So I grabbed the Monty Python song. Sit on my face and tell me that you love me.
Right.
Sit on my face. So that was the song we played. And 5 weeks ago, I got a text from a friend who was in Bel Air at the Goodwill store These are $1.50 right now if you want to go up to the Goodwill in Bel Air. They got them fresh. They don't even have the holes in it from me sitting in it. But because they have wooden seats here at Coco's, my back's bad. So it's a nice way of me promoting that. But my back's not good with golf. So
No, you're right.
no, I'm like my back so I can do all this, but like putt for me feels like I got this, but I don't have the torque thing.
You gotta
I don't know that I'm ever going to get it back.
You might not. That'd talk to your doctor or chiropractor
L3,
about that.
L4. I mean,
you still go to Steve Elliott, right?
of course I go to Steve Elliott. I was with him yesterday. He would tell me, be nice to Tom, promote Classic 5, go out and putt with Leonard Raskin at the Mount Washington Pediatric Golf Tournament last Monday.
Because I played rugby with Steve. That's how I know Steve. He coached us also.
It's Baltimore, man.
Philadelphia guys playing rugby. Imagine that, right?
That's
What's a golf guy doing playing rugby? That's two
That is-
completely different contact and non-contact.
That's so impressive to me. Like a rugby guy that plays golf, or a golf
Right.
guy that plays rugby. You know,
Well,
I know some ruggers, and Nick's a rugger. Your
I
buddy.
knew that.
Yeah.
We
So
all know
yeah,
Steve. Steve's like the straw that stirs the drink in the rugby
yes.
community,
Well,
isn't he?
he's a solid person, and he's also stable, meaning in how nothing seems to ever upset him. If there's like chaos going on, Steve's like that. What do they say? The something
There
in
are
the
very
wind.
few people you would get me to talk about that I like more than Steve Elliott.
Yeah.
As a human. And
And
I
so-
mean that. I would say that if he were here.
So when,
say
when
that to
you're
his
when you're
face.
saying he's very stable, is that, and he's a rugger too? You're saying?
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So is stability because I don't envision ruggers as a stability in a rugger as being a good quality.
Well, you have to. It's a perfect sport. You'd be good at it because it's.
I'm
perfect
crazy.
It's ADD.
yeah, that's what I
So much is going on in that sport at any one time.
All I know is guys like Haloti Nada are good at it,
Right,
and I don't want any part of
exactly.
that. Full
Right.
contact with that. I don't want any part of that with football equipment on, let alone without
It's
it.
safer without it.
I was a coxie for crew in college.
I knew this
Yes,
about you.
and I was a bad one, so they called me wrong wayward sig. But that group of people that I was on the team with were all nuts. I mean, and I loved it, of course. But I always equivocated the crew guys.
In Dundalk, we thought that of lacrosse guys.
Rug
We
guys.
thought the lacrosse guys were crazy. That's what we thought in Dundalk,
Yeah.
But it's one of the things, the nature of the sport is you can't block people like football. You can't get in anybody's way, so you have to support them.
Okay.
So your teammates, you're out. If you got the ball, nobody can get in the way of the opponents. So they have free right to come and tackle you, hit you. So your teammates have to support you. It's all about support, and you want to be right behind them and be there. So the good teams are the teams that the guys are there, and whether you like them or not, you're there with them, and it's a true team sport.
Right.
I mean, it's something where you don't mind doing the parts and knowing I might not be the one that scores, but if I make this guy miss me for his half a second, I'm getting hit.
It doesn't
and
make
give
me
the ball.
squeamish as like MMA does, but it's right up there with
No,
me.
well,
for,
it's-
I'm with you,
for
man.
But there's rules that they've made it so much safer with like you can't take hits, nobody can hit around the neck, above the head anymore on professional levels, and without having pads, you're not a weapon. You put shoulder pads on someone, I can hit you as hard as I can. If I don't have shoulder pads and I go to hit you and I hit you wrong, like I go to tackle you, hit your leg, and I hit your hip, my shoulder's going to be numb. So you can't really drive at people as hard as you
think
can
you
in
can.
pads. As well, without pads, you've got to be in control.
Can I ask about one other
The
sport?
golf is the saner thing you do. I mean,
Right.
Without
if
a
I,
doubt.
If I loved you and I'm family with you, I would say that. You know,
Of
Right.
course,
That's
true.
what my parents thought.
Cricket. What's the deal there? Like that's like been in the news all week long,
Because
right?
the U.S. won.
I
in
know,
cricket.
but I didn't know how you.
well,
even
there's
played.
another sport, cricket. And it's like baseball, but with a wicket. You know, like I wonder if I could ever be proficient at cricket. If I don't understand the rules.
No,
people
I
have
looked
tried.
it
I mean,
up.
rugby, I kind of could catch on and get
Yeah.
the
Right.
rules. You know,
Cricket is
insane.
insane. You know,
And they play
the
for weeks at a
the
time.
final score
Yeah.
of the game is like 119 to 114. You know, like how did they get there? That's like a NBA score instead of a baseball score.
I've had enough guys I played with rugby overseas from England, all those countries, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, and they love cricket. And some
Yeah.
guys have tried to explain it to me. Basically, if you take baseball and if you just push the ball, not even try to bat, if like the ball has I forget what they throw it. They
Wicket.
call
They bowl it.
They bowl it.
Yeah.
But if it's coming in an angle you don't like, you don't really have to swing. You can just, like a hockey goalie, block it, and it goes away from
Foul
somebody.
ball. Hit a foul.
No. It's the whole field. You're in a circle. So behind you's live also.
You can't.
So you can
can't
just block
possibly explain this to Nestor.
No,
It's
so you
just
can.
so- it's
that's
so-
how they explain to me. So I'm like, so you can just block like a hockey goalie, and if you run forward and back, that's one. And they're like, yeah, if nobody gets to it.
Like I got international taste. I mean, I've been to bullfights in Madrid. I didn't know what the hell was going on. The weirdest experience I've had as like a modern person that I could brag on to explain rules is I dated this beautiful Swedish girl at the turn of the century in New York. And she's still lovely. I love her to death. But I took her to a Yankee Red Sox game during the era. It's like Clemens and Pedro at Yankee Stadium.
Oh, geez.
It's packed. It's like I take her to that kind of game, and I'm there, and she just doesn't understand any of it. Her English is perfect. Impeccable. It wasn't a language barrier. It was, well, that was a ball and that was a strike. Strike to her is this.
Yes.
Ball is a noun, not
Yes,
a verb, right?
right.
Like, so inning, she strikes balls, you run that. Why don't you run that way? Like, so all of that explanation of baseball that we take as ubiquitous, it put me into that seat where, like, if you're trying to teach me cricket and I'm a sports guy, I'm like going I don't know, you know, like I'm shrinking in the back of the room, like I hope I don't call on me to answer the questions, you know. And I remember one time buying this dummies book, you know, back when bookstores were still a thing.
Right.
I have it at the radio station with the rules to every sport in the world.
Oh, okay.
So you can open it up and you know, there's a 3-page. It's like a Richard Scarry animal book when it was like a how-to for almost for children, for non. Yeah. Anybody doesn't understand the game of soccer or the game of lacrosse or the game of rugby or the game of it was all in there.
Nice.
And I swear cricket was the page. My wife's like, "Here, you'll finally figure it out if you." And I'm like,
"That's what I need to."
I don't. Where would one go to really learn? Because I understand cricket is the most gambled-on game in the world, right?
It's played all around the world,
but
so
it's gambled on, like in a big way.
Oh, it's huge.
Throughout Asia and India.
I
And
mean,
because
they played in the middle, India, as you said, in Asia,
big gambling
and
cultures where it's always been
and
on
the West
board.
Indies,
Right.
all the islands play it, so it's everywhere around the world they play it, except here.
I just have to understand it.
I'll give you one more.
I don't understand horse racing,
I'll
but I
give
bet
you
on it.
one more weird sport. I have to talk about this. So we have a friend that's coming into town from Kyrgyzstan, and
Is that a real place?
It is a real place.
I'm thinking, make sure you're not Borat me.
It's one of the stands.
Okay,
It's
all
a
right.
stand.
Not Stan Jablonski. Okay.
No, and they have a game that I cannot pronounce it, and I don't remember the name of it. But the essence of the game is that there's a big well in the middle of the field, and these players are on horses, kind of like polo, but they have a dead goat carcass, and the object is to slam this dead goat carcass into the well, and that's how you score. And they're battling each other.
I'm going to Google this right now.
It is the most insane sport, man.
See, I was going to go insane that my son lives in my childhood home in Dundalk. The home on Eastern Avenue that I did all of my wiffle ball, baseball, basketball, the neighborhood playhouse that they had 6 kids, and that house has been sold. The family's gone. It's now been turned into, I believe they're Ecuadorian, but they play this volleyball derivative game that my son has been watching because he's Hispanic too, like me. And he's like, it's like volleyball, but I haven't really figured out what they're doing.
Right, yeah.
And they've turned it into a community center where I believe they're Ecuadorian. If they're not, don't hold it against me, but I believe they're Ecuadorian. But they play a game that we would look at it and say it's kind of like volleyball.
Right.
I remember late at night there was a game on this is back when ESPN would put log rolling on.
Yeah, they
and
wrote
World's
all
Strongest
the
Man.
crazy sports
Yeah. And you know, there was a game called Gaelic. Are you familiar with this?
Oh yeah, Gaelic.
It's like
football.
It's like a wicket. It's like
That's hurling.
No, it's a ball that you hit the hell out of the ball. It's almost like a I don't know. I
think it's hurling.
Gaelic.
What you're talking, but
I think it's
hurling.
Gaelic
It's
was the name.
It's hurling. It looks like a
hurling.
baseball.
Right.
Hurling.
Hurling is the name for Gaelic.
Yeah, well,
Same game.
because they have Gaelic football also, which
Yes.
is like a combination of like soccer, but you can run with it.
Right, like rugby.
Like
soccer,
rugby,
yeah.
it's
So
like
I've
a weird
seen these
combination.
things, late night weird things that we're talking about.
Right.
Golf. Tell them about Classic 5, because this weekend.
Poor Tom came here to talk about
No,
golf.
he
came
to talk
about the Phillies.
We're talking about
Came here to talk about the Phillies.
carcass ball, you know.
Yes, go
So
carcass ball.
your courses, to my point, I saw Gaelic once at night. I didn't have anywhere I could play it, right? Like, to your whatever your goat thing is that's disturbing, I swear that's a Borat thing. I swear he's putting me on.
No, I've heard of that country. It's real.
Yes, right.
The goat
It
thing?
is.
Okay.
No. The country.
Oh, the country's
The goat
there.
thing, I don't know.
Golf's one of those things that it is so simple, right? Other than wearing the right shoes and not tearing the course up and having sticks and getting good at it, explaining what to do and going to a driving range, it's sort of for everybody, golf. I mean,
it is.
literally, it's for everybody.
It's a life you can play your whole life.
As opposed to rugby, which is
Well,
crazy.
like any of the sports that we play when we're little, you can't play it in your 30s, 40s, 50s. Golf you can play. I hate to say until you pass. I mean, we have people that play. You see people out there in their 80s. Some have got 90s. I mean, you can play and enjoy yourself.
And you could be really good and shaped like Craig Statler or something, you know, and be a really good golfer and not have to look like, Ricky Henderson or something.
I watched John
Exactly.
Daly sing songs with Hootie and the Blowfish that night in Jacksonville. They were the band that played that thing. So I've seen John Daly. I know.
There you
I
go.
know
Well,
what that act
there's
is.
another guy.
And what we're seeing, especially after COVID, more people are walking, which is great. You can walk at any time. Walking the course. So if you're walking 5-6 miles, depending on how length the course is, you're getting good exercise. It's low impact exercise for your exercise. Not only swinging the club, you're carrying your bag. You might have a pull cart, but you're walking to get that exercise. And because there are some courses that you can only walk after a certain time. We've always had all of our courses you can do at that time, but it is something for everyone. And the best thing is if a family can play. It doesn't matter. I mean, when your children get to be about 5 or 6 and they can swing the club on their own.
Well,
play
every
with
time
mom
I've
and
Ed
dad.
and RJ on about your courses and with kids, you tell me if I'm wrong, because you appear to be almost my age. I have a feeling that when I was 14, and I think I've told you this, only one person in my neighborhood really played golf, Mr. Frank cross street. It was an adult game. He played at Sparrows Point. Yeah, he pulled his clubs out Saturday when he was a cop, and I would see him go out. But there were not a lot of older men. Had been all men in Colgate in the 1970s who played. I didn't have an entryway to play golf.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't available to me. And had I gone with him down to Sparrows Point on a Saturday morning in 1982, I wouldn't have found anybody my age there. I don't think then.
No, I think you probably would have. It might not have been a lot of people, but you never know.
But I have a feeling now, based on what I know and see on my timeline, golf is a sport that I would want my grandkid to play because he's not
Correct.
getting hit in the head, don't have shoulder
Right.
pads, can get on, can travel with it, can keep it a lifetime, right? Can play with me and my son, and can be generational. There's really nothing else I can sit here and pimp. Maybe shooting hoops with your dad or whatever, but at some point you stop the fastball. You can play a little, touch football on Thanksgiving if you don't pull a hammy or whatever.
Right.
But golf really is the sport for a lifetime.
No, it is, and it's for everyone. And and even still, people. It's not like the cliche there used to be in the 70s, 80s. Oh, it's the businessmen making deals. People are still doing that. I mean, and it's not necessarily.
That's why everybody pimped it to me.
Yeah.
30 years ago, hey, you get out on the course, you'll do business with the right people. And I'm like, nah,
But one of the coolest things about golf is you can go up as a single. You make a tee time, or if you can look online, like everybody can book it. You see, I want to play by myself. Oh, there's 3 people already there. I'll book that one. So you could meet just anybody. You've never met these people before in your life. Have 4 hours with them. You get to meet people. Maybe, they could be good. You might like them. You might not. You never know. It doesn't matter. But you're getting experiences from other people. So, as a community, you're playing together, and it's a great thing. You do a lot of times have people, it's like, this is my foursome, and we play together, and we do that all the time. But it's great because I love when I go to the course and just see the different aspects of our community. I can look. I can be at the
club. It's the same people, right?
Because you all belong. You have to belong there.
And there's a real high bar. I mean, I even think this when I go to a Rolling Stones concert, Billy Joel. It's a high bar. Who can come? Who can afford to be there?
Gosh,
no matter what
yeah.
it is. Even an Oriole game to some degree, although that's certainly more affordable than a Ravens game or hockey game or whatever. I would think your courses, neighborhood. If you live in this area, Ricig, if you were a golfer, you can
go right down to Clifton.
Yeah,
Clifton, I've golfed Clifton, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you're right around the corner. Mount Pleasant, you got
Mount
things
Pleasant,
right around the
I've
corner
golfed,
from you. But I would think on your courses, because of the openness of it, you will see a wide variety of people. But you have regulars for sure.
Oh,
right?
yeah, totally. We definitely have regulars, the people to play all the time. We have leagues. Definitely.
That is their country club, but it's open to other people.
But it's open to everybody else, right? I mean, we'll work with them that if we'll have, like, the senior men that play every Wednesday morning at Mount Pleasant. So they do that. Forest Park, there's a senior men that play every Wednesday. It's a league.
Okay.
But they run it themselves. We don't run it. We just make sure we'll block the times for them, just like if people have outings, charitable outings at the courses.
They run their own thing.
And they do their own thing, but we make sure the course is set up for them perfectly, and they can have a great time, and it's all about that camaraderie. We actually, a couple of years ago, changed it because they used to be all off what you could say the first tee. A foursome will go, foursome will go, foursome will go. And their numbers were going down, so we decided to shotgun them off, meaning – depending, they'll tell us the day before, we'll block the normal amount of time, because the club in Mount Pleasant has about 100 members. So they'll say, we're going to have 90 tomorrow. We've already blocked it. We'll put them on each of the holes. They all go off at the same time. They finish at the same time, so they come back, have something to eat.
Tournament play.
Right, no, but they come back together and they have the camaraderie. So it's not just the people you played, because they'll mix them up who they play with, but you get that camaraderie of the club and the group, because you're all finished at the same time.
The 19th hole.
Yes, exactly. And we found that that's helped them, again, just bringing people together and enjoying it and having fun outside. That's the best thing, I think. It's like you're outside. Just enjoy the weather. If Mother Nature is cooperative, enjoy it with the people you're with.
It's been a good year for weather, yeah?
April and May were a little wet.
Right.
A little wet,
but I mean,
it's
from
good.
a winter standpoint, you could get on.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you weren't shut down for 90 days because we had blizzards.
No, it wasn't those years when, like, the whole month of February we were shut down in, like, 2012.
Well, and also more palatable 55-degree days in January where, like, anybody who loves to play will put some long pants on and go out and play. Not 35-degree day, but like something that might be a little bit more, hey, today's a nice enough day to play in the winter, right?
Right. Oh, definitely. Well, I think we're a little sociology of, I feel we're creatures of habit that it's early November and it's 50 degrees. People have jackets and sweaters on. It's 50 degrees January 20th. People have shorts on.
Right.
Because it's been cold and they've gotten used to that cold, and 50 just sounds so much warmer than 42, 38 degrees. And it's amazing. You'll see people out there with their shorts playing at 50, 51 degrees in January.
But you don't have to ice your clubs in Maryland like maybe you would have 25 years ago, or fly to Florida or fly to Kiowa to play.
No.
You're going to get opportunities to play in Maryland in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
In a way that maybe you didn't 20 years ago.
No. And I think.
And you got to keep the course better for that, too,
well,
right?
There's limitations because the grass doesn't grow.
Right.
So there's things there's limitations of how well you can take care of the course with no grass growing, and there's more times when we'll try to keep people off certain areas of the course, because if something dies in November, it's not growing until April.
It's dead March.
So you want to have that set up right. But I always feel playing in the wintertime, it's a great time to work on your game. If there's one part of your game that you're not doing well or you feel that you can improve, that's the time to practice it, because the courses aren't as busy. So, again, you're playing, say you're not playing late afternoon like you can now. You're playing at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, even on the weekend. You want to work on those things because the grass isn't as thick because it's the winter time. The greens tend to be a little slower because we can't mow them as often because nothing's really growing. So you can really work on your stroke, your tempo, how you're getting your swing down. So that way, it's just that, what do they say, that muscle memory. That's where you can build it, because it is a game that I remember as a kid, my parents would say when they'd watching like Jack Nicklaus and somebody else, and my mom would always go, oh, well, they said this guy's got like a head cold. Watch him because he's not in his head anymore. He's he's just thinking and he's just relaxed, and I'm just swinging.
Right.
That's why I think you see a lot of the pros, they look like they don't care. They're either really controlled in their mind, so they're not thinking every little detail, everything happening.
Well, they've all been trained to think their body's going to go with their mind, right? If you're tense,
you're gone. You're gone.
In any sport.
Yeah.
In anything you do.
But it's really big in golf.
Right.
If you can, but they've got it so good now they can even put the tempo and increase it and get that extra power into their game that it's hard for an amateur. We swing hard, that ball's going all over the place. They swing extra hard.